What is up, peeps? Hope we're all doing well. Welcome back to more CS news. This is exactly what you can expect when the offseason begins and the drama slowly unveils itself. It's actually kind of awesome for us because we still have teams partaking in the major, and the other teams who took an early exit, they're already, throwing out some great news out there. As some big breaking news, Virtus.pro have decided to bench Jame. Yes, the Opper/IGL and the man who has made a name for himself. It's Jame Time. Well, it wasn't really Jame Time this year. Virtus.pro certainly struggled, and they were one of your teams opening up the major and taking an early exit where you were like, that's not good. That's probably going to end in something like this, some sort of roster shuffle coming their way, but it didn't stop there. Jame had a time last night, and he sparked up a lot of talking points, I would say, lightly, for the CS community. As firstly, it was announced by Virtus.pro, the captain of the VP roster, that being Jame, has been benched. Jame is a legend of VP and CS in general. Together, we decided that now is time for change. And Jame said, I want to express my deepest gratitude to Virtus.pro, where I spent so many unforgettable years. Yeah, we're talking about a 5-year career here, I believe, almost. This was the most successful period of my career, during which I learned a lot, met amazing people, and won significant trophies. But according to HLTV, discussions were long, comprehensive, and very difficult. Ultimately, together with the players and coach, we concluded that at this stage, Jame would not be able to combine the two key roles in the roster, IGL and OP, and that the best solution would be to bench him and calmly consider all available options for both the good of our team and Jame's personal prospects. So, according to VP, that's why changes were made, and I think a lot of people would agree that this was not the Virtus.pro of old, and it's been kind of a long tenured season of kind of just like, what's VP up to? And especially, I think, was it just last year they were making some big strikes and you're like, all right, Polish CS, they're certainly backing at him. But it's been a while since we've seen Virtus.pro in the limelight consistently. And so this makes sense. But Jame, being the creator and the personality he is, took to stream to drive up some other controversy as he did a tier list of skilled players. I think this pertains mostly to CIS region players, but people noticed very quickly that he had ElectroNic in the fourth tier, the fourth category of this, which struck some people as odd, as you're just parting ways with your team, and now a former teammate who is one of the all-time greats, you're putting him in a remarkably lower category than most people would. Is that you tossing shade? I don't know if you can blame people for assuming that is some sort of what's going on here, right? It's the day that you're getting benched to go on stream and do this, you're gonna get flack no matter what. It's tough. And I just spent a good amount of time squinting at the image, but you pretty much put half of Cloud9, half of Spirit, half of VP ahead of ElectroNic and some other members in there. So yeah, some people are like, that's maybe that's a cause for why this move happened, but I'm not going to take too much from it. ElectroNic, obviously still one of your all-time greats, and someone like Jame, hopefully going to have future opportunities for Jame Time to make a return, right? Like, it's been a while since, I feel like it's been like a good solid year since we've heard Jame Time, at least in a consistent nature or with some big old clips and big old results from a team like Virtus.pro. So I hope he does find a team, and we'll see what that team might be. Off-season shuffle, it does continue. And something that will not be surprising to all of you guys, again, brought to you by HLTV, that being Zonic, talking about the Falcons roster, and 3 main points I'm going to pull from this article, which will be fully linked down below. And it's kind of a reiterating of what he's already said in the past of, hey, this team was lacking something throughout 2024, him maybe wanting some more input on this roster and kind of being like, changes were expected. This roster was temporary, which people kind of knew. As he gave an interview with Play.gg, and he admitted that from day one of the signing this team, we knew that this roster was only temporary. I think throughout the entire year, we have tried upgrading and changing the roster. The decision was already made in the spring. I'm not saying we were wasting time, but I'm not willing to meet and not be satisfied with the roster that I have. I wish it would have happened earlier, but it was simply not possible to get the players that that I wanted. In hindsight, Zonic is frank about his role in Falcons' failures, saying since day one I had concerns regarding the lack of firepower, which I also informed Falcons, but I should have acted a lot faster. I should have looked more long-sighted and said, okay, right now we can't get these players. Now I'm going to get these two talents instead. And lastly, saying if people think that I have handpicked the 2024 roster, they are gladly mistaken. So for me, what I took from this interview is Zonic pretty much saying, hey, I didn't have full reins on this 2024 lineup. And also, like you said, ahead of the Shanghai Major, they're making these changes, but certainly not soon enough to be prepped for the Major. So it felt like throughout all of 2024, people wanted changes. They couldn't get the players they wanted. They were certainly lacking in several areas. They pick up Simple to try and make some sort of miraculous run in the Major, but he has not had full reins or control over this roster, and 2025 seems to be the year they can get the players that at least he actually wants or make maybe a bit more sense firepower-wise. I mean, we already have someone like Magisk being retained and possible being the captain of this roster. You have Nico apparently coming in, and there are rumors that he will be joined, obviously, by some heavy hands alongside him. People think Munacy is still a potential there as well. There's reason to be excited for the Falcons roster. They're not gonna hold back on 2025, because if they don't, the last year could be seen as a bit of a waste, as Zonic even said. But that is the Falcons. What can we expect for 2025? I have high hopes from what I have very lightly been sprinkled into. Falcons continue to sign top esports athletes across the board in many games out there, and they will not be holding back when it comes to CS, and we'll see as time unravels that roster. But that's also the Virtus Pro drama out there with Jame as well. What do you guys think about it? Expect more of these kind of videos when the offseason actually does begin. Thank you all for being here. Please drink up, all right? Stay hydrated, because at the point of me recording, we are like 12 hours away from Mongols versus Maos, and the Shanghai playoffs, they do begin. So enjoy yourselves. Thank you for being here. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Take care.